What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Blue Eyes White Dragon Horus deck profile. So I'm really excited to do something for you guys because this deck is an extremely powerful deck that I've included all sorts of spicy tech cards in this build for you guys. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 2 copies of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Blue Eyes is an amazing 2-of in this build that's super easy to get to in this deck, and it's just such a nostalgic boss monster. We then play a single copy of Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. Jet Dragon is definitely a 1-of in the build, and it's such a powerful card to be able to just summon out to your side of the field using its own effect, and it can also help your other cards from being destroyed by card effects. We then play 3 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. Sage is amazing in this build and the best normal summon in the entire deck, because when this card is normal summon, you actually get to add a level 1 light tuner from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, which is great to grab your copy of Maiden or even search out a copy of Effect Veiler off this card's effect. We then play 3 copies of Maiden of White. Maiden of White is definitely a 3-of because this card instantly gets us to our copy of True Light with the ability that you can actually send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to place a True Light from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up in your spell and trap card zone. And if you special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon while this card's in your graveyard, you can actually special summon this card, which is a great effect to instantly get this card back to your side of the field so you can go in for some synchro plays. We then play 3 copies of Imseti. Imseti is an amazing 3-of in the build because this card is actually a level 8 monster that can summon itself to your side of the field. With the ability, if you control a King Sarcophagus, you can special summon this card from the graveyard, and it also searches your copy of King Sarcophagus with the ability you can send this card and another card from your hand to the graveyard to be able to add King Sarcophagus from your deck to your hand. Then you can draw a card, which is a great effect to be able to use. We then play a single copy of Happy. Happy is really good in the deck as a 1-of to be able to use alongside our copy of Imseti, so we can go in for some insane rank 8 plays. These cards are really good in the deck and a really good engine to be able to play in this build, so you can step into all sorts of awesome rank 8 plays. We then play a single copy of Magnemite. Magnemite is really good as a 1-of in the build and just a really awesome card to summon off your copy of Seals because this card helps us search our dragons during the end phase of the turn. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's really good as a 3-of in the build to basically just stop your opponent from touching the deck. We then play 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is insane as a 3-of in the build to basically just stop your opponent's monster effects, but you can also search this card off of Wishes, or you can search this card off your copy of Sage. We then play a single copy of Nibiru. Nibiru is really good in the deck as a 1-of to basically just break your opponent's board, and it's just a really good card to be able to play alongside Crossout Designator to make sure that Nibiru is not used against us. We then play a single copy of Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre is a really good Crossout Designator target, as you don't want your opponent to pop cards on your side of the field like King Sarcophagus or any of our other cards that remain face up on the field when they activate, so this card is really good as a Crossout Designator target in this deck. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Terraforming. Terraforming is really good in this build because we actually play multiple field spells in this deck, so this card helps out a lot in the build to grab the exact field spell that we need. We then play a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is really good in this deck as a 1-of to basically just stop your opponent's hand traps while you're going in for all of your plays. We play a single copy of Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons. Roar is insane in this deck as a 1-of and a really powerful card that has the ability to let you special summon in defense position a Blue Eyes monster from your deck, graveyard, or banishment, but if you don't control a Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can only special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon with this card's effect. Also, you cannot special summon for the X deck for the rest of the turn except for dragon monsters, which is the only downside of this card, but we have ways to play around that by activating this card last. We then play a single copy of Mausoleum of White. Mausoleum is great because you can actually search this card off your copy of your Blue Eyes Link monster, and this card actually gives us an additional normal summon of a level 1 Light Tuner, which is a great ability, plus this card is a Foolish Burial for the Blue Eyes White Dragon. We then play a single copy of Walls of the Imperial Tomb. Walls is really good as a 1-of for our Horus package, but I feel like 1 copy is all you need, as we can easily search this card with Ancient Fairy Dragon, and this card is great because it becomes King Sarcophagus while it's on the field, and during the main phase you can actually add a Horus monster from your deck to your hand, instantly grabbing your copy of Imseti from your deck to your hand, so you can go full Horus combo. So this card is definitely a 1-of in the build, because again, you can easily get to it with your copy of Ancient Fairy Dragon. We then play a single copy of Secret Village of the Spellcasters. Secret Village is great in this deck as a 1-of to be able to use with your copy of Imseti, because Imseti is actually a spellcaster, so you can essentially lock down your opponent from using spell cards if you have Imseti on your side of the field. We then play 2 copies of King Sarcophagus. King Sarcophagus is great in the build as a 2-of, and just a really cool card overall to help us get our Horus names into the graveyard. And you do need to control King Sarcophagus on your side of the field to bring them back to your side of the field. Plus, this card can actually send a card from your hand to the graveyard to send a Horus monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is a great ability to instantly get one of our Horus names into the grave. We then play 3 copies of Wishes for Eyes of Blue. Wishes is definitely a 3-of in the build and helps out a lot in this deck, as this card actually lets us discard a card to add a level 1 Light Tuner and a spell or trap card that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from our deck to our hand, except in the copy of this card, which is a great ability to instantly grab the exact card you need off your copy of Wishes. Wishes also is crazy powerful to help you summon out your copy of Tyrant Dragon with the ability that you can actually banish this card in the graveyard, and then actually target a Blue Eyes White Dragon you control and equip it with a copy of a Blue Eyes monster from your X deck as an equip spell that gives it 400 attack points. So you can basically equip your copy of Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate to a Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then simply tribute it to summon out your copy of Tyrant, which is really cool. We then play 3 copies of Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator is really important in this particular build because we have so many different combo pieces in the deck, and we're playing 2 different engines in this build, the Blue Eyes cards and we're playing the Horus cards, so we want to make sure our plays go through, which is why I really like playing Crossout Designator in this build. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of Majesty. Majesty is really good as a 1-of in the build, just to help us pop cards on the field, and it's a crazy powerful card in this deck. Then play a single copy of True Light. True Light is a key combo piece in the deck and a really powerful card overall, that your opponent cannot target Blue Eyes White Dragon in your monster zone with card effects. And also, if this face-up card is sent from the spell and trap card zone to the graveyard, destroy all monsters you control, but this card does let us special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from our hand to the graveyard, or set a spell or trap card directly from your deck that specifically lists Blue Eyes White Dragon in its text with a different name from cards that you control and in your graveyard. The only downside of this card is if it is destroyed, it does destroy all your monsters. We have some easy ways to play around that card with our copy of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon being able to negate that particular effect so it doesn't destroy our cards. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is really good as a 3-of build to basically just use this card to stop your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get in to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon is definitely a 2-of in the build because this card actually helps us summon out our copy of Blue Eyes Spirit Ultimate Dragon, and it's such a powerful card in this particular build because you can tag this card out for another Light Dragon Synchro monster, which is actually insane because we can even use this card to step into Ancient Fairy Dragon so we can get the exact field spell that we need. We then play a single copy of Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon. This card is basically a walking negate and is actually insane in this build because also if this card is destroyed by battle by card effect, you can actually special summon a Light Dragon monster from the graveyard, which is a really cool effect. Plus, this card is actually a walking negate, which is actually insane, that goes up by 1,000 when it does actually negate a card. We then play a single copy of Ancient Fairy Dragon. Ancient Fairy Dragon is a key combo piece in the deck. This card actually helps you tag out your field spells, because during the main phase, you can special summon a level 4 lore monster from your hand, but you cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this effect. And during your main phase, you can destroy as many cards in the field spell zone as possible, and if you do this, you gain 1,000 life points. Then you can add a field spell with a different name from the destroyed cards from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect, helps us get our copy of Imperial Tomb, or we can even use this card to get Secret Village by popping our copy of Mausoleum on our side of the field, once we've already used it to be able to Foolish Burial to the graveyard our copy of our Blue Eyes, which is actually insane. This card is really good in the deck as a one-of, and a key combo piece to help us get our copy of Secret Village or our copy of Imperial Tomb. We made a single copy of Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Crystal Wing is so easy to summon off your copy of Ancient Fairy Dragon. All you have to do is summon out a level 1 tuner to your side of the field, which is super easy to do in this deck, and then use your copy of Ancient Fairy plus your copy of your level 1 tuner to step into Crystal Wing, which is really easy to do in this build, basically establishing you a monster negate on your side of the field. We made a single copy of Lightstorm Dragon. Lightstorm Dragon just deals with your opponent's back row, which is really cool in this particular build, just to help you deal with your opponent's back row. We made a single copy of Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. Azure Eyes helps out a lot in this deck because it helps your dragons from being destroyed, which is really good. And also, if this card is special summoned until the end of the next turn, neither player can target dragon monsters you currently control with card effects, and they cannot be destroyed by card effects either. And once per turn during the standby phase, you can actually target a no monster in the graveyard and special summon it, helping you bring back your copy of Blue Eyes to your side of the field, which is actually insane. We then play a single copy of number 38. Number 38 is great in this build to basically just use this card as a spell negate. And then a single copy of number 90. Number 90 is really good to be able to play in the build to basically use this card as a monster negate. When I a single copy of Dingirsu. Dingirsu is really good as a basically rank 8 to play in this deck, as this card actually is insane. When it's summoned out to your side of the field, you get to send a card your opponent controls to the graveyard, but the really cool ability is if a card you control would be destroyed by battle by card effect, you can actually detach a material from this card instead, which is a great ability to be able to use just to give you a little bit more protection in this deck for cards like True Light. We play a single copy of Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon is really good because it helps you recycle your trap cards while also being able to attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. But the way you actually summon this card is off the effect of Wishes by actually equipping your copy of Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon to one of your other monsters like a Blue Eyes White Dragon. And then once you do, you can actually tribute the Blue Eyes equipped with your copy of Neo to be able to summon out your copy of Tyrant Dragon without even fusion summoning. Then play a single copy of Hieratic Seals. Hieratic Seals is great to help you spin cards all at the field while also summoning out your copy of Magnuma. So we can use Magnuma to be able to search out one of our dragons like Jet Dragon, which is really cool. We then play 2 copies of Spirit with Eyes of Blue. Spirit is great in the deck as a 2-of because this card actually searches Mausoleum and you contribute to summon a Blue Eyes out to your side of the field, which is actually insane. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have not played a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck using the Horus cards, you should definitely give this deck a try. It's a very interesting build, and I really like being able to summon out Imseti and then using Secret Village to basically just lock down your opponent, which is actually insane. So that's gonna be this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad. We'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.